King Claudius of Denmark, Queen Gertrude, Hamlet, Polonius, Polonius' son Laertes, and daughter Ophelia, and lords of Claudius' court enter.
Though my memories of my brother Hamlet are still fresh, and though it was proper for me and our entire kingdom to grieve him, life doesn't stop, and so while we must remember to mourn for him, it is also wise to remember our own happiness. Therefore, with a sad joy, with one eye merry and the other crying, with laughter at a funeral, and grieving at a wedding, with equal measures of happiness and sadness, I have married my former sister-in-law, who inherited some right of her own to rule this nation, and made her my queen. In this marriage, I know I've done exactly what all of you have been advising me to do all along. To all of you, my thanks. Now let's move on to the news that you all know. Young Fortinbras, dreaming of glory and thinking that I am weak, or perhaps that the death of my brother has thrown our country into chaos, continues to bother me with demands that I surrender the lands that his father lost to my brother when he was alive. That's the news on Fortinbras.
Voltimand and Cornelius enter.
As for me and this meeting, here's the story.
He holds up a letter.
I've written to the King of Norway, Fortinbras' uncle, a weak and bedridden old man who's barely heard a thing about his nephew's aims. I've told the Norwegian king to put a halt to Fortinbras' plans, since all of Fortinbras' troops are Norwegian.
To Cornelius and Voltimand.
You good Cornelius, and you Voltimand, we send you to carry this letter to the old king of Norway, but give you no more power to negotiate with the Norwegian king beyond what is outlined in this letter.
He gives them the letter.
Goodbye, and may you show your loyalty through the speed with which you bring this letter to Norway.
We'll show our loyalty to you in that and all other ways.
I do not doubt it. A fond goodbye to you.
Cornelius and Voltimand exit.
And now, Laertes, what's your news? You mentioned that you have a favor to ask of me. What is it, Laertes? You'll never be wasting your words by making a reasonable request of the King of Denmark. What could you possibly ask for that I wouldn't give you? Your father is as vital to the Danish throne as the head is to the heart, or the hand to the mouth. What do you want, Laertes?
My powerful lord, I'd like your permission to go back to France. Though I came willingly to Denmark to show my loyalty at your coronation, now that my duty is done, I must admit my thoughts are once more directed towards France. I hope you will give me your permission to go.
Do you have your father's permission? What does Polonius say?
My lord, he has won my permission by asking me over and over again, so that finally I reluctantly gave my approval. I ask you to please give him permission to go.
Leave when you like, Laertes. Your time is your own, to be spent however you want. And now, Hamlet, my nephew and my son.
Hamlet to himself.
I'm more closely related to you than I used to be, but without any feelings of affection.
Why are you so gloomy, that it seems like you are covered by clouds?
Not at all, my lord. The problem is that I am covered in sun.
Dearest Hamlet, stop wearing these black clothes and look upon the King of Denmark as a friend. You can't spend your whole life with your eyes aimed down at the ground, looking for your noble father in the dust. You know it's common. Everything that lives must die, passing from nature to heaven.
Yes, madame, it is common.
If that's so, why does it seem like such an issue to you?
Seem, mother? No, it is. I don't know the meaning of seems, good mother. The black clothes I wear each day, my heavy sighs, the tears from my eyes, the sadness visible in my face, or any other show of grief cannot capture what I actually feel. All these things seem like grief, since they're just what a person would do to act like they were grieving in a play. But inside of me I have real grief, of which these clothes and displays of grief are just an outward representation.
Hamlet, it is sweet and good that you mourn like this for your father, but you must also remember that your father lost his father, who in turn lost his father, and each time the son had a duty to mourn for his father for a certain time. But to continue to mourn out of sheer stubbornness is blasphemous. Isn't it manly? It does not fit with God's desires, and it indicates a too soft heart, an undisciplined mind, and a general lack of knowledge. When we know that something must eventually happen, and that it happens to everyone, why should we get it into our heads to oppose it? Indeed, Acting this way is a crime against heaven, a crime against the dead, a crime against nature. To a reasonable mind, it is absurd, since the death of fathers, from the first corpse until the most recent, is an inescapable theme of life. I ask you, give up your ceaseless mourning, and think of me as your new father. Let the world understand you are the next in line for the throne, and I feel as much love for you as any father feels for his son. As for your desire to return to Wittenberg, it's not what I would want, so I beg you, please give in to my request, and remain here, where you can bring joy and comfort, as the highest ranking member of my court, my nephew, and now my son.
Please don't let my prayers be in vain, Hamlet. I beg you, stay with us. Don't return to Wittenberg.
I'll obey you as best I can, madame.
That loving response is what I hope for. Stay with us in Denmark.
Claudius to Gertrude.
My dear wife, come, Hamlet's easy willingness to stay has made me glad, and in honor of it, every happy toast I'll drink today will sound like cannons up to the clouds above. My drinking will echo against the heavens like thunder. Come on.
Trumpets play, everyone except Hamlet exits.
Oh, if only my dirty flesh would melt and then evaporate into a dew, or that God had not outlawed suicide. Oh, God! God! How tired, stale, dull, and worthless all of life seems to me. Curse it! Yes! Curse it! It's like an untended garden growing wild. Nasty, gross weeds covered completely that has come to this point. My father, dead for just 2 months. No, not even that much. Not 2. A king so excellent. In comparison to Claudius, he was like a god compared to a goat. My father was so loving toward my mother that he would not let the wind blow too hard on her face. Heaven above, must I remember. She would hang on his arm, as if the more time she spent with him, the more she wanted to be with him. And yet, within a month of my father's death, no, don't think about it. Women, curse your weakness! In just a month before she had even broken in the shoes she wore to his funeral, weeping endlessly. Oh, God! A wild beast would have mourned longer than she did. She married my uncle, my father's brother, who's no more like my father than I'm like Hercules. Within a month of my father's death, before the salt from her crocodile tears had washed out of her red eyes, she remarried. Oh, what wicked speed! To jump so quickly into a bed of incest! It is not good. It will not lead to any good either. But my heart must break in silence, because I must remain quiet.
Horatio, Marcellus, and Bernardo enter.
Hello, my lord.
I'm pleased to see you doing well. You are Horatio, right? Or am I mistaken?
I am Horatio, my lord, your loyal servant forever.
Sir, my good friend, not my servant. Why are you not at Wittenberg, Horatio?
To Marcellus.
Oh, Marcellus!
My good lord.
Hamlet to Marcellus.
So nice to see you.
To Bernardo.
Hello, sir.
To Horatio.
But what are you doing away from Wittenberg, Horatio?
I have the heart of a dropout, my good lord.
I wouldn't let your enemies say that about you, so I won't let you say it, or believe you if you did. I know you'd never drop out, so why are you here at Elsinore? I'll teach you to drink deeply before you leave.
My lord, I came to attend your father's funeral.
Please don't make fun of me, my fellow student. I think you came to see my mother's wedding.
Well, my lord, it's true the wedding came soon after the funeral.
It's called being frugal, Horatio. The leftovers from the funeral dinner made a great cold lunch for the wedding. Horatio, I would rather have met my worst enemy in heaven than have lived to see that awful day. My father, I think I see my father.
Where, sir?
In my imagination, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was an impressive king.
He was a great man, perfect in all things. I'll never see his equal again.
My lord, I think I saw him last night.
Saw who?
The king, your father, my lord.
The king, my father?
Hold back your excitement for a while, and listen while I tell you about this astonishing thing, with these 2 gentlemen as my witnesses.
For God's sake, let me hear it.
For the last 2 nights, these 2 guardsmen, Marcellus and Bernardo, during their watch in the middle of the night, encountered a figure that looked very much like your father, dressed in full armor from head to toe. It appeared in front of them and marched by them slowly and with dignity, and no greater distance than the length of his staff. He walked by them 3 times as they stood shaking in fear like jelly, too shocked to speak. They told me all about what they'd seen, swearing me to secrecy. On the 3rd night, I stood guard with them, and the ghost appeared, just when they said it would, and looking just as they described. I knew your father. The ghost looked as much like him as my hands look like each other.
Where did this happen?
On the platform where we stand guard, my lord.
Didn't you talk to it?
I did, my lord, but it didn't answer, though once I thought that it raised its head, as if it were about to speak. But just then the rooster began to crow, and at the sound the ghost flinched, and then vanished from sight.
That's very strange.
I swear on my life that is true, my lord. We thought that it was our duty to tell you about it.
Yes, you're right. But I'm disturbed by the story. Do you have guard duty again tonight?
We do, my lord.
The ghost was armed, you say?
Armed, my lord.
From head to toe?
From head to toe, my lord.
Then you didn't see his face.
Oh yes, we could, my lord. He had his helmet visor up.
Did he look angry?
His expression looked more sad than angry.
Was he pale or flushed?
Very pale.
Did he look straight to you?
The entire time.
I wish I'd been there.
You would have been shocked and amazed.
I'm sure I would have. Did it stay a long time?
As long as it would take a person to count to 100 at a moderate speed.
No longer.
Not the time I saw it.
His beard was gray, right?
It was, just as it looked when I saw it, when he was alive. Dark brown and silver streaks.
I'll join you for guard duty tonight. Perhaps the ghost will appear again.
I bet it will.
If it looks like my noble father, I'll speak to it. Even if hell itself opens up and tells me to be quiet. I beg all of you, if you've kept this a secret so far, continue to be silent. And whatever happens tonight, think about it but don't discuss it with anyone. I'll do the same. So goodbye. I'll come see you on the guards platform between 11 and 12.
We'll
Do our duty to your honor.
Instead, give me your friendship, just as I give mine to you. Goodbye.
Everyone except Hamlet exits.
My father's ghost wearing armor. This is not good. I suspect some foul play. I wish it were night already. Until then, I must stay calm. Bad deeds will always be revealed, no matter how deeply they've been buried.
Hamlet exits.